Welcome back everyone to the State of the Nation. Now I want to build a bit more on the tightening laws pertaining to Sri Lanka's digital services. Last week I asked as to what was done during the SLPP government from Ali Sabri, the former Justice Minister. Watch.
The most important thing is the online safety bill. If you, we have suggested some amendment to that, so they can either review it or replace it, because all the countries, including UK and European Union, have brought this online safety bills. Singapore, Malaysia, all those countries. It's a must. You have to have a balance between the two. I wouldn't say that I'm totally happy with the current bill which has come in, but there are a lot we could work together. I think that's an area that we need to work. The new government should prioritize and do it.
Well, that was former Finance Minister, former Justice Minister, and also former, I think, Foreign Minister as well, Ali Sabri, with regard to the digital initiative. Now, to become a leading digital hub globally and attract more revenue through this channel, it's crucial that we establish the right infrastructure, laws, and systems. Unfortunately, at the moment, none of these elements are operating as they should. While multinational companies like Meta, X, Alibaba and eBay are tapping into the Sri Lankan market, they aren't doing much to protect our consumers from potential injustices that might occur on their platforms. It's not that we lack the necessary laws. In fact, here's the raw data on that. Sri Lanka has several regulations concerning digital matters. Now, the Electronic Transactions Act was introduced back in 2006 during Mahindra Rajapaksa's presidency to legitimize electronic records and digital signatures, paving the way for secure e-commerce. Now, following that, the Computer Crimes Act was enacted in 2007, again during the Mahindra Rajapaksa regime, to tackle issues like hacking and data misuse. Now, more recently, in 2022, the Personal Data Protection Act was put in place to ensure organizations handle personal data responsibly. Additionally, the Online Safety Act was introduced just last year to establish a commission aimed at regulating harmful online content, although it sparked debate over potential freedom of speech violations. Now, given all these laws, it raises the question, why is it still so challenging to protect Sri Lankans from injustices on various online platforms generated by other nations? Let's try to understand more on that, and for that, let's go to State of the Nation's Mihin De Silva, who's at the data board tonight. Welcome, Mihin. Now to all our viewers, Mihin is one of the newest additions to our State of the Nation team and also to the other Derana family. This is his inaugural on-air presence, and you will see, of course, more of him on many of our programs in time to come. Welcome, Mihin. Now, let's get into the question at hand. Mihin, I know you're a law student and also part of the whole Gen Z generation who are very much in touch with modern technology. Now, what are the areas in your research you found that Sri Lanka must strengthen its existing laws and, more importantly, create some in order to face modern day problems and to safeguard Sri Lankans?
Thank you for the warm welcome, Mahieash. And now to answer your question. So as you have rightfully mentioned, even though we have laws in place to regulate and govern the digital and technological sphere in Sri Lanka, we have actually identified these key drawbacks in our research. Now, you know, Mahieash, as Sri Lankans, we don't really have the luxury of holding these big tech companies like Meta or Alphabet liable to our claims, because unlike in the United States, South Korea and Singapore, they don't really have their physical presence domestically in the Sri Lankan locality. So we'd always have to resort to cross-border litigation, and there are issues that pertains to cross-border litigation. So, you know, it actually would cost an arm and a leg to a Sri Lankan general public if they were to, you know, engage in this process. And also, Mahieash, we've found in our research that there's been a bit of a lacuna when it comes to e-trade and e-commerce fields, as you can, as we have mentioned, refund and cancellation policies and all that. And to move on, Mahieash, now to a bit of the practical side of the things, we have actually been having a problem of implementation in the legal system of Sri Lanka. So if I were to take this simple example of Online Safety Act, and so the Online Safety Commission, which is actually supposed to give life to this Online Safety Act, that has not yet been appointed by the government. And also, Mahieash, interestingly enough, there have been private litigatory efforts under this act, and in one of those such cases, they have actually made a big tech company, a big social media network, one of the respondents. But then again, we did not really see any response, coming through, any effective response or any adequate participation from them in the litigatory process, which actually deals with the Sri Lankan legal system. So that goes on to say that we need really strong enforcement measures, and also practical implementation of the laws need to be much stronger. Over to you, Mahieash.
Absolutely. Interesting indeed, that case you just pointed out, something I hope that the government along with the Justice Minister will take into consideration and work on it to safeguard Sri Lankans. Mihin De Silva at the Data Board, thank you very much. Now, Sri Lanka's India-assisted unique ID card project is set to start by the end of this month. The 20 billion rupee project receives substantial Indian assistance. It aims to gather biometric and biographical data of you and me who will be asked to apply for this digital ID card. Now, despite privacy concerns, officials assure that the data will remain within Sri Lanka and that all our data will be safe. Let's get more information on this, and joining me now is the Deputy Minister of Digital Economy, Eranga Weeraratne. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Appreciate you coming on the show. Minister, in terms of safeguarding consumer rights of digital users within Sri Lanka from multinational corporations penetrating our markets, we see a dearth of significant laws put in place and enacted. Your thoughts on that?
So certain laws, we seriously lack certain laws because the world is quite new to all parts of the world, and to Sri Lanka especially, like certain laws lack the adaptability on digital world. So to protect the consumers and the users in that world, of course, there are certain digital requirements that have come. So to start with the Data Protection Act, thereafter the Computer Security Act, as well as Online Safety Bill kind of acts are pretty much needed. However, we understand that Online Safety Bill Act, there are so lot of concerns from the public as well as from the online organizations, which we are looking to seriously address them before we are getting that act activated. Otherwise, we also see certain concerns there, which we want to amend the act before implementing. However, safeguarding the consumers, the public is our number one priority, as well as that shouldn't mean hindering the service providers. Service providers should be able to give their services, the genuine services, but not to misuse and then fool the users. So these acts we will get revamped and look at how we can get the best of legal framework in Sri Lanka in times to come.
Indeed, Minister, now the government has begun issuing national identity cards in digital format, which I honestly think is a good move. But then there's the whole conversation of data protection. Minister, point blank, are the data of Sri Lankans adequately protected?
Yes, Mahieash. I think the main issue about this identity card matter is about a lot of people are scared and having the misconception. Who are the parties who are going to own the data of this platform, as well as who is the party who is going to capture this data from the Sri Lankan citizens. And I am with authority, I am telling that this data will be captured by the government itself. It's not done by any third party, especially not foreigners. So there's no foreign party involvement in data capturing, as well as the ownership of data will always will remain with the government, especially the Department of Persons, Registration of Persons will own the data as well as own the platform, and they will carry on the digitalization of the national identity card with the digital ID platform. And therefore, like there's no whatsoever concern to be to have it about the sovereignty of our data as well as the protection and the security of data. It is always we will be held with the government.
Absolutely. All right. Let's leave it at that. That was the Deputy Minister of Digital Economy, Eranga Weeraratne. Appreciate it, sir.